Take Caravan Palace's Lone Digger music video, add a healthy spread of 1930s and 1940s noir detective radio shows and movies with anthropomorphic animals, and you have Chicken Police Paint It Red. Chicken Police is a noir detective, buddy cop text adventure game filled with puns, talented art design, and immensely talented voice acting. It draws heavy inspiration from the golden age of cinema, from movies like The Big Sleep to Gilda and games like LA Noire and Grim Fandango. The game was developed by The Wild Gentleman, an indie studio based in Budapest, Hungary. It's a very talented team with members of the team who've worked on projects from The Witcher 3 to Call of Duty World War II, Rise Son of Rome, and much more. While individually most of them have been in the games industry for about a decade or more, Chicken Police is the first project under The Wild Gentleman, and as far as I know it's available on all systems, although I'm not sure about PS5 and Xbox Series though. Paint It Red is set in Clawville, a once beacon of cities where everybody could live no matter the species, but the city's fallen to hell, to say it nicely. It has ghettos for insects and reptiles, mobsters running the city, police so crooked they'd put the Leaning Tower of Pisa to shame, and a brewing civil war that could break out at any moment. It reminds me of the old radio shows I used to listen to late at night, like Johnny Dollar or Boston Blackie, Dick Tracy, and many others. We get to play as Sonny, or Santino Featherland. Yes, the puns are so real in this game. He's an at the end of his rope, suspended cop, waiting for his forced retirement. And he takes a request to help one Natasha Ketsenko, and it's spelled exactly like you think it would be. In this point-and-click game, which is one of my favorite types of games, by the way, you quickly realize the story starts as something simple like threatening messages and rapidly devolves into something complex, twist-filled, and only a case that Sonny and his partner, Marty, can solve. The story is very similar to those classic radio shows and movies. In my almost 10 hours with this game, it's easy to see that this has some damn good Photoshop. Everything moves. The mouse moves when they talk. Tails are, you see Natasha's tail moving in the background. They blink. Their eyes change based on the tone and tenor of their voice and the expressions. This is some of the most detailed Photoshop I've seen in a very long time. The animal parts blend almost seamlessly with the human bits. There are, if you're looking real close, you do see every once in a while, but you have to be looking for those things. And additionally, there's none of the jagged lines that you get from Photoshop or the leftover cutout bits from the backgrounds. They did such a good job on this. And as you can tell, color is very important in the game, or I should say the lack of color. There's only important moments or important objects like Natasha's eyes, the messages to Natasha, or blood that have color. Sonny even comments it that the longer he stayed a cop and the longer he stayed in Clawville, the more the color is left. Sometimes, something I'm really impressed with is there's no repeating animals. Every character is unique, and there has to be at least 8 or more background characters that you never interact, like the lemur in the sweltering Nile brothel or the big buck in the Czar Club. However, they did, at the end of the game, put a list of animals they didn't include due to them being recognized as extinct. I think this may have originally started as a pixel game. In the extras gallery where you can see your collectibles, cutscenes, and concept art, there are a few pixel arts of Sonny and Marty, and I think it might have been started as a pixel game. I'm glad they have the style they do now. The photos with the animal head photoshopped on and all that. Not that I dislike pixel games, in fact, quite the opposite. I love pixel games. But I feel like the style they have here is a better way to convey the mood and the story that the game has. And to be honest, it's more memorable than a pixel game. We see pixel games come out a dime a dozen, but we don't see much games like this, and it's memorable. Something that adds to the mood of the story and, the love or hate you may have with some of the characters is the immensely talented voice acting cast, especially Sonny. He really sells it as the noir detective at the end of his rope. Carrie Shale is Sonny, who has also voiced roles in Thomas the Tank Engine and the various spin-offs, State of Mind, a game I just played, and Horizon Zero Dawn, just to name a few in his very long list of roles. Natasha is also played by, I'm gonna butcher this, Jules. I'm just gonna call her Jules de Jong. I don't know, probably mess it up, but she played Cora Harbour in Mass Effect Andromeda. She also is another voice in Thomas the Tank Engine and the spin-offs, and she, like Carrie, has a very long career in voice acting. And everybody in this game did a fantastic job. There's people that did multiple voices, there's people that did a lot of additional, background voices, but everybody did such a good job on the voice talent here. Like I said, Chicken Police Paint It Red, God, I just love saying Chicken Police, is a point and click game. In its 4 chapters, there are a whole host of characters you get to talk to. You get to ask questions and interrogate them. You get to go to a variety of locations as well, including the Glamour Czar Club, the sweltering Nile, a brothel run by a crocodile, and to a rundown insane asylum. You get ranks based on your questions and focus of the questions you ask during those interrogation periods. There's even a little evidence recap section at the end of the chapters where you piece together what happened and go over, all the delightful things that happened in that chapter. Additionally, there's a nice little shooting range, almost like a Wolfenstein or GTA 5 style, which helps you get a feel for the shooting in the game, even though there's only shooting in 2 car sections. Kind of like the Yakuza sections at the end where you sit in the car and you shoot out, or at least in Zero and Kiwami. There's an extras gallery, there's collectibles, codex entries, profiles to collect, and you will miss most of them on the first playthrough. So that's the incentive to replay if you're a completionist. And as you replay, you also get to work on getting better scores in those interrogation parts, because sometimes you think you're asking the right questions and then you come out with like a 60% and you're like, oh, I thought I was doing a better job than that. Chicken Police Paint It Red, I just love saying Chicken Police, I know this, has a great noir style sounding jazz soundtrack. You know the type I'm talking about, a little slow, a little soulful, something that, wouldn't be out of place in a Humphrey Bogart movie. You get pulled in with the visuals, but the voice acting and killer soundtrack, which I hope to comes to vinyl one day, I would buy it, plunges you straight into the world of Clawville and the nitty-gritty noir style. Additionally, Natasha Katsenko has a singing number which is out of this world. The song is so good. I've listened to it like 30 times already. It really reminds me of Elsa Lichtman's LA Noir number. I know I butchered that last name, but Elsa's number from LA Noir, the one, I always kill the things I love. Oh, the music in here is so good. While overall I thoroughly love this game and the world that Paint It Red has, there are some things that I do have to point out. No game is perfect, but these are minor things, like so minor, and I will admit it's kind of hard to find faults. So I played this on PC, remember that. I don't know if there's issues on the other consoles. I played it on Steam. So while things are good and I love this game, there are some subtle things like subtitle speaking errors, which made me wonder, were the subtitles done first and then the game audio, or was it just forgotten to be changed? Which I know you follow a script, but then sometimes you ad lib and do things in there. But I thought they would have changed it. It's something so small, but it happens enough to draw attention to it, but not enough to be maddening. Speaking of text and audio issues, on the text autoplay, which just means that they keep talking without you having to interact or press a button, the audio sometimes cuts out, which leads you to sometimes not hearing what they say, or cutting off at the end of a sentence and you not even seeing what the text box has to say. It's just minor things like that. Nothing really to write home about, but no game is perfect. I'm curious about a possible sequel in the works. The credits have a to be continued at the end of them. A sequel could tie up a lot of the loose ends that Chicken Police have. Like, do Sonny and Marty get back together on the force? Does Sonny become a police officer again? They could also dive into Molly, Sonny's ex-wife, and the daughter, who Natasha really is, and where does she disappear to. I'd like to see what happens to the city and the Hive. They were pretty much on the brink of a civil war and tearing the city apart. Even the after credit scene, Avengers style, still left so many questions for me that I would love to see a sequel of this game. Additionally, maybe a minor bother to some people there, and it's kind of a spoiler, but not really, because it's never touched on, is there's a storyline that it's hinted a lot but never touched on, that Natasha could be a former Tsar's daughter from, oh, I can't remember where she's from. Kind of like the Romanovs of Russia and the myth that the daughter Anastasia actually made it out and wasn't assassinated by her family. With how much they kept hinting at that very early on in the game, I thought that storyline would go further. Maybe in the sequel, or maybe it just wasn't meant to be explored more. But I was very curious about it. It's like, is this a red herring? Is this the shotgun on the fireplace? Like, and then they never used the shotgun on the fireplace. They never touched back on Natasha's lineage. Overall, I fell in love with this game. Maybe it's my love for noir films long gone. There's time, care, and love put into this weird little game. I hope it'll get a sequel. There's so many questions that can be answered with the second game, like I just said. I know this game won't be for everybody. I know a lot of people don't vibe with point and click, or won't get over the fact that it's anthropomorphic, you know? There's animals with human bodies. Sometimes at first it was a little off-putting, but you get used to it and you get into the story. Once you get over that, you dive into a nitty-gritty noir game, a serious game. I thought it was going to be, it has its funny moments, but this is a serious game. Definitely pick this up. Like I said, it's available on every system. I don't know about PS5 and Xbox Series, but you know, it's available. Go pick it up. Tell me what you think about this, or if you like this review in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys on the next one, whatever that game is. Bye guys.